Shabbat
Hi,
Shalom.
Lori. Hi,
Hi.
Sue.
So good to
Hi.
see everybody.
Sue, I'm totally disappointed. I didn't get a funny from you this year.
Oh, sorry, I
Last
haven't sent any around.
We got a couple of good ones, but I have to send them private. For those of you who knows, they have to be private.
Well,
Okay,
good Shabbos, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're a little thin tonight, but that just means that we can use each other's warmth and we can huddle together on these screens and be a little closer together. So why don't we wish each other a good Shabbos before we mute everyone? So good
Shabbos.
Shabbos,
Good
everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And Cantor, if you could just unmute yourself. He's already done that. So, wow, this is an exciting Shabbos, Shabbat Zachor. We'll talk a little bit about that over the course of the next week. But Zachor is that we are, interestingly enough, the second special Torah portion or Haftarah portion that we read as we approach what holiday? Oh my gosh, can you believe it? We're already talking about Passover. So Passover is coming, but before Passover, a month before Passover, is the special holiday of Purim. So a lot of exciting things coming up for Purim, and it is the month in which we increase joy. So we just got to bring the joy, and every little bit of joy and happiness and energy that we bring not only to our services, but that we bring to the people that we interact with on a daily basis. We all can agree, can't we, that that elevates the entire world. So there is no better way in which to elevate. It's very hard to be grumpy and miserable, although I'm sure somebody could figure out how to do it when you sing. Why don't we turn to page 16 and we sing together Shalom Aleichem when we welcome in the Sabbath.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn now our attention to Lecha Dodi as we greet the Sabbath bride, but there's also other greetings that are coming up, and it is important that we prepare ourselves with what is to come. One only need to walk down the Costco aisles to know what is coming up in the Jewish tradition. There are at least in the Van Nuys, Costco, so many Jewish products. They already have out all the Kedem grape juice for the 4 cups that we will be drinking together in some capacity. There are Humantaschen ready for us to eat as we remember Haman and all the craziness that he tried to inflict upon the Jewish people. And of course, there are matzot already matzahs, guys, already matzahs at Costco. So what's the deal? That if even Costco is ready and preparing for these holidays, how much more should you, a Yidden, a Jewish person in Santa Clarita, should be getting ready for all of these wonderful, wonderful celebrations to come. So we think of that, but we also need to greet what is the most important Jewish holiday, Shabbat. We turn to page 22 for Lecha Dodi.
22.
Lechado dili krat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'me'echad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem multiferet v'litilah, L'chado dili krat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, L'chado dili krat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'sachala, tochem u'ne'am segula, boi chala, lechado dili krat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, 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 Penei Shabbat nekabela.
For those who are standing, please be seated as we enter into formal prayer. That was Kabbalat Shabbat, where we have a special service, a special moment of prayer to receive. Kabbalat means to receive, or the receiving of the Sabbath. Now that it is truly upon us, this moment in which an extra little bit of soul is given to us, not an extra soul that inner thing that we think about, but a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of extra energy to remind us of the importance of pausing and just taking a moment and really being grateful for everything in our world, being grateful for creation. Remember, as Jewish people, the Shabbat or the Sabbath, the Holy Sabbath, is the pinnacle of creation. Everything is moving towards this moment in which we can truly appreciate everything around us. We now turn to page 50 for Ma'ariv Aravim.
El Chai v'kayam, Tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amahariv Arahavim.
With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgments.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot hukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shachbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach behukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam Beshivtecha bebetecha uvelechtecha vaderech ushachbecha uvekumecha ukshatam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beheinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha.
The Lord said to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the corner of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God.
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai vehitem keroshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
We now turn to page 64 as we all rise for Vishamru. This is really the prayer we bring energy and change the energy around us.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat, la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Why don't we remain standing? I know, sorry, some of you just sat and I feel terrible, but not so bad because I'm standing the whole time. Right, Cantor? Right. Okay, anyways, all jokes aside, page 68, we now turn to the Ma'ariv Amida as we prepare for a moment of petition, but often we don't offer petitions on Shabbat, but at this time we also just reflect on our heart's desires. Really, ultimately, when we really get to the core of what life is, isn't it truly just something to be grateful for? When we ask for everything and we get it all out of our system, there is only really gratitude that is left. Let's take a moment as we prepare for the silent Amida.
Anananananana Adonai. Anananananana Svatai Tiftach. Anananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
We thankfully acknowledge you, our God and God of our ancestors, Lord of eternity. You are the source of our strength. Even as you have been Israel's protecting shield in every generation, we thank you and proclaim your praise for our lives, which are in your hand, for our souls, which are in your care, for your miracles, which are daily with us, and for your wondrous kindness at all times, morning, noon, and night, source of all goodness. Your mercies never fail, source of compassion, your kindness never ceases. You are our hope.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol edu v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We now offer a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing for those who are in need, a refuah shlema, a refuah to nefesh, a refuah to guf, a complete healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. And please put in the chat the name of those who are in need of a little bit of a lift from the prayers that we offer tonight.
Misha Berach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Makor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May God send a speedy recovery for those in need, and we all say amen. So just a few words of Torah. I'm going to say two things because there's so much happening, and I won't speak long, but I want to just bring up two things. This week, as we studied in Torah study, and we had some great conversations around this pasuk, around this verse, Ve'asuli mikdash, to make for me a sanctuary in which God can dwell. And yesterday, as Ken pointed out, that is on our sanctuary wall, and that Rabbi House, when asked what should be, I guess, on the sanctuary walls, this was what was picked. And I started to reflect on how important it is that there are things, there are pasukim, there are verses, there are phrases that we carry with us. And I want to just suggest to each and every one of us to think about the phrases that we have rattling in our heads. And to, maybe they are positive, maybe they are negative, maybe they are what they are, but to find something to hold on to. And I've shared with all of you, my favorite one is that our spiritual development is directly proportional to our willingness to inconvenience ourselves. That has always stuck with me. And I'll say that one more time because it was a bit wordy, but our spiritual development, our spiritual growth is directly proportional to our willingness to inconvenience ourselves. May we find time throughout the next couple of weeks to inconvenience ourselves, to make a chance and an opportunity for us to grow and change. So that was one thing. The other thing is, I'm very, this is an interesting day, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. If I can tell just a quick story. You know the village of Chelm? Everyone know the village of Chelm? Yeah, a bunch of idiots, right? Literally a village of idiots, those from Chelm. So there was a rabbi of Chelm, not me, no, I was not a rabbi of Chelm. There was a rabbi of Chelm. And he went to one of his congregants and he asked him this very important question. What is closer, the moon or Jerusalem? The guy looked up and he looked over and he said, well, the moon, of course. And the rabbi laughed and he said, why would you say that? The gentleman from Chelm said, I said that because I can see the moon. I can't see Jerusalem. What's really important for us to remember is something called perspective. If we look at the world the way we just see it through our own lens, the moon truly does look closer because we can see it. But we know logically that there is an entire story behind that. We all know the story that the moon, although it may appear closer, is much further away, even though we can't see what is and how far Jerusalem is. It's a mystery almost. How much, if you think about it, what we don't know, how much we don't know, how much we think we know, and how much we assume we know, and how much we believe that we know, and how much we truly do not know. That is the mystery of life, truly coming to an understanding that we don't know all that much. This day, the 7th of Adar, is a very special day. In some circles, people fast. I did not fast. It's not part of my tradition. Why do they fast? Because it happens to be Moses's birthday. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, the great Moses that we all know, who led the Jewish people out of Egypt, was born on this day. And interestingly enough, 120 years later, he died on this very day. This was his birthday and also his death day. Also, what's interesting, in Israel, they've taken upon themselves that on some level, it's almost a very special day for, at least for the military. As we all know, Moses forgive me, Moses's tomb, we do not know where it is. It is unknown to us. So it has become a practice of those in Israel to actually use this day for almost like an unknown soldier, for those soldiers who have passed that they don't know where they are. So this is a special day, but I think what it brings up for me is this idea of mystery. Many of us will never know the day in which we will die. That would really be a very challenging thing to live if you knew that day. And many of us, I should say, did not have the power over which day we were born. These are two of the biggest mysteries, our birth and our death. This is the biggest mystery that we do not know. We are unaware of so many things. What's important for us to remember on this day is that we should embrace the mystery that is life. It is through embracing mystery. In other words, it is through embracing that we do not know, that we do not have all the answers, that we need not always come up with conclusions, that we be open to looking at new perspectives and not be stuck like the villagers of Chelm and thinking that our eyes and our senses are the only way and our thoughts and our opinions are the way that the world is. May we find time this week in memory of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Moses, our teacher, to truly live in the mystery. And in that way, I believe we will truly be alive. Shabbat Shalom. We now continue with Aleinu. Please rise on page 118.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim Ve'Yoser Haaretz, Umoshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Ha'al, Ushchinatu Zo, Begavei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakatuv Betorato, V'yadata Hayom, V'hashevota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, Masha Hamayim Imhal, Ve'al Haaretz, Mitachat Einod.
For sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. And it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatuv b'Toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam v'hed, v'nehemar, v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo Echad.
For those who are mourning or observing Yortzeit, please remain standing, and may the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us so to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, may we enrich the lives we touch, and may we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify God's name in the hallowed words of the Kaddish. In this week's Yortzeits, Elizabeth Coman, daughter of Jeff Coman, Lester Levine, father of Linda Horton, Robert Lips, father of Carol Stern, Harriet Weisberger, mother of Howard Weisberger, Evelyn Shear, mother of Alan Shear, Samuel Hodis, grandfather of Jay Hodis, Jamie Arquilovich, father of Ellie Arquilovich, Jeanette Lewis, grandmother of Stephen Lewinda, Hyman Weiss, uncle of Larry Burse. We're in the Shloshim still of Irene Levine. And of course, this week, we offer our condolences on the passing of Madeline Goldman Malka, Toba Bat Moshe Yehudit, sister of Arlene Gold. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 124. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'amad divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala vizman kari vimru, amen. Yehi shmei rabam v'rach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'oma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom ben Ramav, huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the universe, grant us harmony and peace for us, for all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say, amen. So want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, a Yasher Koach to you, Cantor, as we enter into this Sabbath, this special Sabbath before Purim. And so some really interesting days to come that we increase to joy. One of the things I just wanted to with services tomorrow and then tomorrow night in this very room, join us for Havdalah, and we'll have a special, we'll go out to the outside again. It's Kedusha Lavana, in which we go out and we look at the moon. We've been doing this over the course of the past several months. Lots of fun. At least I have fun. I don't know if the other folks do, but I have fun. And we get to look at the moon. And then this Sunday, lots of stuff happening. We have an 11 o'clock citywide Purim celebration. We also have a pickup for our Purim baskets at 1 o'clock. There's also a drop-off for items that we're collecting at 11 to 1 o'clock on Sunday. So there's a lot of stuff going on Sunday. We also have a movie on Sunday. So please just look at your emails you've been receiving just to know. But it's a busy day on Sunday as we get ready for a wonderful week of, again, increasing the happiness and joy of those around us. And most importantly, I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom as we rise on page 90 for the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'Shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hidchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim, l'chaim. Please unmute yourself and wish everyone a l'chaim and a Shabbat Shalom.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
See you tomorrow morning at 10
Shalom,
o'clock.
everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.